Thank you for watching Channel 16, the North Penn School District Educational Channel. My name is Ken Weir, and my guests today are the Valedictorians of North Penn High School's Class of '95. I'd like you to meet three very interesting and very successful students. I'd like to introduce first Rebecca Casper, next Dan McCarter, and Karen Callahan. It's not every year that North Penn High School has three valedictorians, and these students have not only achieved the top of the class rank, but they will also be speaking at graduation on Friday night, June 23rd. I have not had the experience of talking with these three students before, and so we're getting acquainted today here in the North Penn High School television studio. Rebecca, I've seen your performance in Guys and Dolls. Was it fun?
Yes, it was wonderful. I've been in the shows here before, but this was probably my favorite. Yeah.
And your part was, again?
I was Adelaide.
Yes.
Miss Adelaide.
And your best number was, or at least the most popular number?
Probably Adelaide's Lament.
Adelaide's Lament, yes. And you performed that again for the AAA night audience?
Yes.
And that has been seen by folks again and again on Channel 16, who enjoyed very much seeing that.
Probably has.
Dan, you're a musician.
Yes, sir.
And what does that mean? You played the cello, I'm told.
Yes, I play the cello. I'm also a guitarist, a singer, and a composer.
And what is your favorite kind of music?
My favorite kind of music, well, that's not really a fair question. I love all music, but I'm especially fond of rock music and romantic music, music from the Romantic period. I'm a big fan of Franz Schubert.
People from my generation wouldn't always expect a student who likes rock music to be first chair cello in the orchestra. But that's a comfortable one for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Very good. That's good news. That's good news. Karen, you're an athlete, among other things?
Yes, I play field hockey and lacrosse, and I have for the past 4 years, starting in junior high.
Did the three of you begin school here in kindergarten?
No, I moved here when I was in 4th grade from New Jersey.
In 4th grade. Have you been with us all the time?
No, I've been here since 2nd grade. I started out in Central Bucks, went to Italy for a little bit in homeschool, came back to Central Bucks, came here.
Why were you in Italy?
My father took a job with a company based in Italy, and they were opening up a manufacturing plant here in the States. And, well, to figure out what exactly was going on, we all went to Italy with him.
Great, great.
I started in 1st grade.
In 1st grade?
So it's pretty
So
much
you've been
been the
here
whole
most of the
time.
time.
Yeah.
But at least all of you have had experiences in North Penn elementary schools, middle schools, or junior high schools, and now in the high school. Have you finished your graduation speeches?
Finished and refinished and refinished. I think I've written it about 20 times.
I've been constantly revising mine. It's
So
still
if you were to provide me with a copy this afternoon, that isn't necessarily what I would hear at graduation?
No,
Definitely
please
not at all.
Don't
Please
hold
don't
you
hold
to
us
it.
to it, no.
You will rewrite until the last minute?
Yes.
Probably.
Is that true?
Last hour. Yeah.
I think
On the walk up.
there's a request either in the Reporter today or in the last couple of days asking that the graduation speeches be published.
Oh, no.
And so perhaps we'll publish them after they're given rather
good
than
idea.
rather than before
That'll
they're
work
given.
out a lot.
I would hope to have a copy the next morning so we can make
Okay.
sure that they are available to.
That's a promise.
Okay.
The next morning.
The next morning.
We were talking morning after graduation.
Right.
Did you collaborate in your speech writing? Did you work together to discuss
No.
theme or content?
We had a theme that Mrs. Lassen had given us, a poem by Robert Frost, but other than that, we didn't work together much at all.
Is it possible that some of you will be saying the same thing or similar things, or will you get a chance to hear each other?
Surprisingly, we are not really talking about the same things, but even though we did not work together, we've had the opportunity to hear each other's speeches.
Okay.
And
I think it's interesting that I guess a lot of it comes from our different backgrounds and different kinds of things that we're involved in, but it seems that coming even from one theme, we all sort of did our own take on it, which I think was interesting. I was a little apprehensive at first that it was going to be like generic graduation speech number 12, that we were all going to be saying the same thing, but we all, I think, pretty much took our own kind of way with it.
The interesting thing for me is to what degree it's personalized for this class or this time or this year. I sometimes hear graduation speeches that could be given in some distant state in some other year, and they sound so similar across the country from one to the other, you know. So that's always interesting. Do you want to say something about the theme you developed, or do you want to withhold that until it's given? If you each took a different, do you want to just give us a little
On our
glimpse
own.
into
On our
it?
own
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
Okay. What I did is I talked about balancing out like your intellect. You can't live solely on your intellect. Like, we've gained so much from our education here at North Penn, we also have to remember to look to our creativity and like our passionate side to be able to succeed and achieve our goals that we have set for us.
Sure, that's good. Dan?
I've worked with your future plans, people, dreams versus reality, and how you can make your dreams a reality.
That's good. That's good.
I sort of talked about, I'm going to talk about what you have to give of yourself in what you do, and how your actions in life don't really mean anything unless you put all of yourself into it, because in the end you're your own judge. You know, you have to be able to take a look back at what you've done and say, you know, that's the best that I could do, and I did that, and I gave it my all. And I think that's what's really important, because a lot of times now people feel that they have all these responsibilities that they have to accomplish, and so they just go through their lives and they just like, oh, I have to, and no, you know, nothing can be enjoyable. But I think I tried to point out that even in everyday kinds of things, you can find something special.
That's neat. You'll be at Ithaca next year.
Yes, I will.
Why Ithaca?
Why Ithaca? Well, first of all, they have an incredible music program that drew me to Ithaca. Their academics are strong. I will be going to school for music, but I didn't feel that was an excuse to ignore my intellect. It's also a beautiful, beautiful campus. I'm a big fan of the outdoors. Lake Cayuga is right there.
Right.
Most people like movie theaters and shopping malls. I like mountains and trees and streams, so
That's nice.
perfect place for me.
That's good. Where else did you apply, or rather, where else were you accepted? Let's ask that. Where else were you
That's a nice
accepted?
way to say.
I only applied to one other place, that was Lebanon Valley College.
Very good.
I was accepted there.
Very good. Now, how is it that Rebecca and Karen, you're both going to Northwestern, I believe?
Yes, we
It
are.
was a fluke.
It's a
It
fluke.
was.
Yes.
It was a surprise to both of us, I think.
Yeah.
Was that your first choice, or is that not a fair question?
Oh, I really didn't have a first choice.
Where else
I
were
gu-
you accepted? What other places?
Washington University in St. Louis, Wake Forest, and James Madison in the honors program.
And your major will be?
Oh.
Undeclared?
I'm going in saying probably biology or biochemistry, but I know there's so much there that I haven't even touched on yet. So maybe anthropology I'll end up in, or who knows.
And what takes you to Northwestern?
Well, I'm going to be studying primarily theater there, and they have a very, very excellent theater program. But as Dan said, when I was looking at schools, there are a lot of conservatories for theater, but I didn't feel that was fair to myself or to my parents for all the money they'll be paying, or just in general, because I also wanted to be at a place where if I decided that I wanted to pursue something else, that I would have the opportunity to do that at a place where that offers so much, and I think Northwestern does.
I've never been on the Northwestern campus. Is it an urban or a suburban campus? It's an urban campus?
It's suburban.
It's
Suburban.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's right on Lake Michigan.
Uh-huh.
It has a beach on Lake Michigan, and it stretches all along the lake.
North Shore of Chicago? North?
I don't know the terminology. It's 12 miles north. It's in Evanston.
In Evanston.
Evanston,
Okay, it's in
yeah.
Evanston. North.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful
Shore.
setting.
Okay, that's very good. Let's talk a little bit about your experiences in North Penn schools that will be memorable for you. Do you have an outstanding memory as you get ready to leave North Penn? And it may not be this year or last year, but do you have an overall feeling or remembrance about your experience in our school district?
I think my experiences with the Night Crier, the newspaper, have been all around very valuable. Just places the people I've been able to talk to, like for instance, when I was a sophomore, I was able to go downtown and spend a day at Walnut Street Theater when they were doing rehearsals for a performance, and I was backstage and I got to talk with professional actors and actresses, something I would never have been able to do otherwise. It's just opened me up to so many different opportunities.
And your responsibility with the night, you were one of the editors, right?
I was features editor.
Editor.
For the past 2 years.
So that gave you lots of opportunities.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
neat. That's good. Would you be interested in being in a student newspaper as you move on to college, university work?
Possibly. The journalism program at Northwestern is incredible. They have one of the best journalism schools in the country. So, I mean, I'd love to write for the paper. They have a daily paper that they put out.
That's great.
So we'll see what happens.
What's your most fond memory of North Penn schools?
Well, I think probably it's something, as Karen said, my experiences that I've had with the theater and the music on the whole throughout the schools. It's really given me something to hold on to as I went through, to feel that I belonged someplace special on the whole, because as North Penn is such a large district and the schools are so large, sometimes it's hard, especially coming from a smaller school as I did, it's hard to have a feeling that you can like hold on to something solid. But I think the fact that there are so many various activities and just different takes on life that you can find in the district, that everyone can sort of find their niche, and I think that's I've found mine in the theater, and I've gone through it throughout the junior high and the high school, also in the middle schools.
I always tell people that North Penn Theater is family.
It is.
It
really is.
You become family in the process of working together, from starting around the first of the year or even before, through the spring musical, especially.
True. I mean, first of all, with all the time you spend with them, you spend more time with them than you do with your actual family.
Right. It is your family.
Yeah, it has to become your family, and not just the students, but among all of the directors and the volunteers that we have that come in, and it's just very close knit, and that's a wonderful feeling to be able to have.
What memories will you take? Fond memories?
Well, probably two of them.
Okay.
One is just a group of memories, and that would be with the North Penn cross country team. I've ran cross country since 9th grade, continued it up to 12th grade, actually made letters the past 2 years, and a great group of guys, a lot of fun, going out to meets. I remember I broke, one of my fastest times, I broke into the 17s, and that may not be a very fast time for some of you faster guys, but for me it was a big accomplishment. My other big memory would have to be coming back to the high school after I made All-State Orchestra, which was another surprise I didn't quite expect to happen. I just one day decided, well, try out for districts, and somehow I made that into regionals, and from there went on to states. So that was my other big memory from high school.
I think we've all had teachers, as we went to school, we've had teachers that we'll remember, and teachers who were influential in our lives. Many of us had several favorite teachers or many favorite teachers. So I'd be inclined not to ask about your favorite teacher, but visit with us a little bit about teachers, and it's okay to name them. Teachers here at North Penn who are memorable to you today, people you might even think about as you prepare for graduation and have an opportunity to say thanks to on this show, if you will. Is there somebody that immediately comes to mind, or several people? It doesn't need to be one, it can be several people.
Yeah, there are several teachers that I've been very close with on like a personal level. Should I name them?
You may, of course.
I don't know, is that proper? Mrs. Lemke, my chemistry teacher, who's just been wonderful. Mr. Hurst, who I had in 10th grade, we have a very nice casual relationship that we can go in and talk, and I feel very comfortable with. And I have to thank Mrs. Staley, who helped me tons with my graduation speech, who was just always, she just had plenty of ideas for me to help me tie everything together. And I don't know if I lucked out, but I just had wonderful teachers all through high school, especially through math. Mr. Stewart, who I've had for the past 2 years. I just had an incredible experience.
Now these are recent teachers. What if we go further back into elementary school or the middle years? Is there someone, or are there people you remember there who were influential in your life? And you say, I'll always remember her because she taught me about that, or that kind of thing?
Mr. Kramlich from the junior high, I think, for science and his baloney jokes, and I think we all had Mr. Kramlich, and just all this. It's Pretty much there hasn't really been anybody that I haven't gained much from.
We would hope.
Yes,
We would
exactly.
hope. Dan, do you have any special people that were influential in your development?
The entire music department at North Penn is absolutely incredible. Astounding group of musicians, astounding amount of talent, especially here at the high school. Mr. Tackett, who's actually done both the junior high and the high school at the same time. A remarkable feat, especially when you actually listen to these groups of young people and realize that these are only junior high and high school players that are playing music no other high school in the area is able to do. Also, I'm active in SGA. I have to thank Mr. Finnemeyer for all that he's done. And Mr. Lukens from chemistry. Although I do love chemistry, sorry, I'm not going into it. And to keep this from being a long list of thank yous, Dr. Walsh and Dr. Hubler for helping me out with my graduation speech. And I'm sorry if I left anybody out.
I'm sure we will. I'll come back to you and talk a little bit about SGA because I want to get back to that. Any particular teachers you'd like to thank at this time, Rebecca?
Well, I guess all the way back to elementary school.
Sure.
My first teacher that I came here, I remember the first day when I walked into Gwendor Elementary, and Mrs. Parker was my 4th grade teacher, and she's just a wonderful, wonderful woman.
Yeah.
And I walked in to the door, and I'm still very small, but I was just very tiny, and I looked very much younger than I was. And I knocked on the door, and I said, "Hello, Mrs. Parker?" And she said, "Oh, honey, the kindergarten is down that way." And I said, I'm in 4th grade. And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
And she gave you a hug, probably.
She did give me a hug. And she was just one big hug. She was an absolutely wonderful teacher. And Mrs. Rodman, who I actually is in my graduation speech, who was my math teacher in 4th grade. And then all the way through, the interdis teachers, all of them are just, they're just a barrel of laughs.
That's good.
So many wonderful
Good
memories
educators.
from them.
Don't
And good teachers too, yes.
Not just laughs.
No, and here obviously Cindy Loudon has been, and Dr. Davis Kirsch, they've been absolutely wonderful to work with. And I guess this year, Mrs. Lane, who both
Yes.
Karen and I have for AP Biology,
Definitely.
she's just an exceptional woman and an
Great.
exceptional teacher.
Extremely strong.
Yeah,
strong
and
woman.
just I think I have to agree. I can't think of one teacher that I've had that, maybe a couple. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean they've just been wonderful. Like if I went through all of my teachers, I could tell you something specific that they gave to me, and I think that if you can say that about your teachers, that you're very lucky,
good.
because I know that some people aren't that fortunate. And they just have a teacher and they say, oh, well, they taught me 5th grade, but I could say, they taught me about this, they taught me about friendship, they taught me how to spell, but specific things, and that's been great.
Let's come back to you, Dan. You mentioned SGA, the Student Government Association.
Yes, sir.
You were the education coordinator,
Yes, I was.
and what is that responsibility?
that
What does that title bring with it?
Well, it brings with it more than I expected when I accepted this position, but there's no regrets at all. That involves all the student-organized scholarships, the Washington Workshops program. These were programs that I gave out applications, facilitated the application process, chose candidates. I took a group of 50 students to the Holocaust Education Workshop. I hope I said that right. Sorry, Muhlenberg College, if I did not. Excuse me. Any student concerns, any student political concerns with the school board, I was responsible for taking that up. Presently, I'm working with Mr. Brumbaugh in looking into the AP government program, trying to bring in a 6.0 course, as well as the AP and 5.0 government course. So thanks to him for his undying effort in that cause. It's quite a noble one, but haven't made much progress yet.
Rebecca, you're a member of the chorus,
Yes.
and did you travel to a distant place as a member of the chorus?
Yes, last year we went to Florida and we competed in I believe it's called the Disney Magic Music Days, a little catchy title. but we competed there. And also I'm a member of the Chamber Singers and the Ambassadors. So we also competed there, and we were quite honored. We got 2 bronze awards and a silver, and those are in the top 3 of, I believe there were 7 or 8 levels of awards, and so we were very highly honored there. And we got to go to Disney World too.
That's good.
Wasn't a bad deal.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. Everybody needs to do that when they can.
I really think
Everyone
so.
should. That's right. I'd like to ask you if you could give North Penn High School a wonderful gift. Not necessarily a tangible, but a wonderful gift. If your class, or if you, or if a group of interested students would come together and say, we would like to think about a wonderful gift for North Penn High School. Something it needs, something it could use, something tangible, or not. What kinds of things would you think about giving to North Penn High School as a special, wonderful gift to celebrate your departure and to say thanks to North Penn High School?
I have a gift going with the intangible gift. I'd give North Penn School District, the whole district with the high school, its community members, I'd really like to give them unity. I think it's something we really need. We're working towards it. I hope we haven't lost sight of the fact that we are a community, and our students that we're educating here are the future citizens and our future lawmakers. So, this is our one shot at shaping our own future. So if we can unite the school and its community behind the students, we can have a real good chance at a great future for America.
Unity, a special gift. Thank you. That's good. Yes.
I'm still thinking about it. I think Rebecca.
Pass to Rebecca.
Oh, I thought I was gonna
Okay.
get lucky there. I think I'd like to give also something intangible. I'd like to give each and every person, I think, a sense of innocence, a sense of child. I've worked with a lot of children, and I've taught at a summer camp, and I've been a counselor for very young children. I have I have 2 younger brothers, but one who's still pretty young, and a lot of the things that seem so complicated to everyone else, like he would read the newspaper and he would have to do something for school and he would have to report on an article. He would report on something. Obviously, there have been a lot of things in the paper about the school district, and so he would read something. And something that the school board members and the teachers and the students, everyone was up in arms, and he had the simplest solution. Well, I don't understand. Why can't they all just do this? Because that's what needs to be done. And just everything is really a lot simpler than I think we all make it out to be. And I know I do. I mean, it doesn't seem right, I guess, maybe if you get a simple answer to the problem. But I think sometimes we just need to just be thankful that there is one. And I think we need to maybe take a look at those kids and see, because I think they got a hold on something good. And I think I think unfortunately it's very easy to lose it, because with responsibility and with a lot of things that we have to do, we have to work, we have to go to school, we have all these responsibilities to do, and I think that's the first thing that goes, because a lot of people don't. It's not something tangible. It's not something that you can really say, oh, well, that person, yeah, she still has her childlike innocence about her, but I think it's something very important, because I think everything would be a lot easier, and I think we'd be able to have that sense of unity if we could just maybe every once in a while, go out and play, or
have the clear vision of a child, right?
Yeah, because they really do.
Yeah,
they really
that's
do.
good. Did we give you enough time, Karen?
Yeah, I think
I tried to stall a little.
In the same sort of way of giving something to everyone, I would like it doesn't seem like a lot of people in the community really know what goes on at the high school or anywhere, and I would like to give the district a way of being able to tell everybody like what happens. The sense of how many people can succeed in so many different ways at the high school. There are students that I heard talking in the computer lab which could be looked down upon because they're not the brightest or or they're not in the higher classes, but have like a love of art and succeed in those type of classes. And I think there's so much that goes on that people don't even know. And I think if we had a way of being able to show that to people, to especially like people on the school board, so they can see what it's really like, and just people in the community who really, because teenagers get such a bad rap, and I think it just really enlightened them on what really is going on, and what we're going through, and how we've succeeded in so many different ways, not just not just in school and with grades, but outside and in other aspects of life.
That's good. That's good.
Despite what you may read,
Yeah.
North Penn really is a wonderful, wonderful place. A lot of learning, a lot of different types of learning taking place here.
That's right. That's right. Well, you all have summer jobs.
Yes.
We'll see you at the Bucks County
Yes.
Coffee Counter
Come get a cup of
at
coffee.
Spring House.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
And we'll see you, Dan, at the Tolmenson Pool.
Come on, swimming.
And we'll see you at the Spice Shop in Lansdale.
That's right.
And we
Anything?
need some new oregano. Or
Oregano, basil, anything.
We'll be
anything
there.
You need.
We've been talking with North Penn's Valedictorians, Rebecca Casper, Dan McCarter, and Karen Callahan. And we thank you. We have 650 seniors in the class of 95, and we have had an opportunity to talk today with 3 of them. We thank you for listening. We thank all of the people in the North Penn community who were behind these students and their 650 classmates, and who have made their North Penn School District experience not only a good one, but a wonderful one. My name is Ken Weir, and on behalf of the North Penn Schools, I thank you.
They broke the law at every turn. They had no restraint. They were rebels without a clue.
What's wrong with you guys?
Oh, compound fractures, contusions.
No, I mean, why no safety belts?
It's just what dummies do.
Oh, yeah? Well, this is what I do.
Busted for not wearing safety belts.
Hey, pal, it's the law.
Police are ticketing across the nation. Buckle your safety belt.
Call us about volunteering in Junior Achievement's new elementary school program and help expand kids' dreams for the future.
I've had the same friends since I was a little kid, but this year, some of them started playing with these other kids. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's cool making new friends and all, but they weren't like us. They were, different. And I heard my big brother saying some pretty bad stuff about people like them. But they seemed pretty cool, and we had a pretty good time. So, well, maybe my brother doesn't know everything.
Hey, Carlos, come on, we need you.
Don't be afraid.
Be your friend.
It takes so little to save our rivers and oceans for future generations. If we use less toxic household cleaners, we protect a little. Fewer lawn care chemicals, a little more. And recycling used motor oil gains us so much. In fact, there are many things we can do in our everyday lives that can help stop water pollution forever. Clean water If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.